our most popular report. We have four reports that we create. Our most popular one is we call the marketing report.
Yeah.
It contains 15, let's say, assets, marketing assets that we create based on the book. We analyze the book and we create these 15 assets that all the authors need to market their book. And usually for any author that, is not, doesn't have an experience with marketing, this is going to be a kind of a steep learning curve to learn. So, we create this in 10 to 15 minutes. They have all this information, and we also add everything that they need to use it.
Hey, Florin, welcome to the Stark Reflections podcast.
Hey, Mark, thanks for inviting me. Excited for this.
Yeah, it's great to chat with you again, and great to chat with you in a way that my listeners can benefit from. So, okay, before we get into Manuscript Report and the services and stuff that you provide, who is Florin? Like, let's tell me who is this gentleman and where did he come from and what's he up to? Like, why is he creating these great tools for writers?
Never an easy question, but I'll,
Yeah,
I'll try to give a response. I'm originally from Romania. I'm based in Paris these days. I worked a lot with AI. I went to the US. I had a PhD in AI, and I worked a lot with natural language processing all the way before large language models were a thing. So, forwarding 10 years when large language models came and my thesis was done, it looked like large language models have deprecated most of my PhD thesis. And I was like, okay, I mean, this is obviously a great tool. I'm curious about it. I want to learn more. So I started looking into it. And it happened that one of the applications, someone reached out for me from the publishing industry to do something with large language models on books. And I was like, yes, sure. I would love to see them in action. I would love to see how they behave on large texts, and let's try to build something on this. So yeah, that's how Manuscript Report was built. That's also a bit of my history in the
wow.
field. So I can tell you more about the Manuscript Report origins and how we pivoted from what it was to what it is.
Yeah, yeah, I'd love to. I had no idea that you were a PhD in AI. That's amazing.
Okay.
Should I have started? So, welcome, doctor.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Um,
So I mean, I've been playing with Manuscript Report for oh God, 6 months now, I think, if not more. And I've seen it evolve, but I'm sure that I haven't even seen half of the
yeah.
evolution, right?
Yeah, so we started initially as an assessment tool for publishers. We know they have like huge slush piles that they never check, because it's
Right.
impossible for humans to check that many books. So we thought, okay, we have large language models. Let's create a tool that assesses that slush pile, and maybe we can flag those manuscripts that are, uh, worthy of a second human review,
Wow.
or more
Okay.
targeted for for that publisher or for what they are currently focusing on. And we built it. So, it had some of the elements that you see in the reports right now, from which we'll talk about later, but it also did some grading based on various criteria on how good the manuscript was. It turned out that publishers back then didn't trust AI as much. So that didn't really, I mean, we did have some very good conversations, but it never really picked up. So, my co-founder then looked in a different domain altogether once we got stuck with it. And I was left with this sort of product that I built. I thought it was like it had something, at least for some people in the publishing industry. Maybe
Yeah.
publishers weren't the right fit at that point. So I thought, okay, I'll try to pivot this to authors, because it had a lot of the marketing elements that authors usually get stuck with once they finish writing their book. So I thought, okay, let's try to offer it with some authors for free, get their feedback, try to see if I have something here for authors. And that's how we've been building ever since, like two
Wow.
and a half years ago. iterating with authors and building, adding more to our initial report and building more reports as well.
I'm so fascinated because yeah, I mean, having worked in the book industry for a long time, that's a major pain point, right? Publishers get thousands of submissions, and then I mean that's usually an intern position or a starting position for the publishers is you become an intern and you have to
Yep,
read the slush pile, and then you say, okay, of the 100 manuscripts I read this week, here are the five you should look at, and then the agent or the editor looks at those five or whatever it is. So it was like that could save a lot of time because I know like the processing right now is it's usually within 10 minutes I get a
yep,
report back. So you feed it in and you're like, look, based on the summary, no. Based on the summary, yeah. So anyway, I mean, somebody still has to preview them, but previewing a 25-page report as opposed to a full manuscript could actually say, these are the ones I'm going to read. Anyways, wow, but like a lot of technology, publishers seem to be technology averse. I remember, I mean, they still haven't embraced ebooks. And they've been around for, 12,
yeah,
15 years, or no, 15, more than 15 years now. And they still haven't embraced ebooks, which is great for indie authors because indie authors still have that. But anyways,
yeah.
I'm so glad that you pivoted and provided this for authors because for two reasons. I just ran a manuscript report for a book of mine that I published in 2014. A backlist title. I'm like, it's a techno thriller, and I was like, oh, it is a techno thriller, but it was manuscript report that helped me realize, oh, I thought it was just a thriller, but no, based on the content, it's a techno thriller. But taking this book that's been there for a while and saying, hey, I want to revise my marketing copy, and I want to just see what it spits out and give me some. Anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself. So for authors, Manuscript Report, let's break it down into what it offers, like in terms of the various marketing tools or not tools, marketing strategy. I'm not
Reports.
sure. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, they can be tools, they can be strategies, they can be assets, whatever you
yeah.
want to call them. So, our most popular report, we have four reports that we create. Our
Four
most
different
popular
reports.
one, yes, our most popular one is the one that you just talked about, which we call the marketing report.
Yeah.
It contains 15, let's say, assets, marketing assets that we create based on the book. We analyze the book and we create these 15 assets that all the authors need to market their book. And usually for any author that is not doesn't have an experience with marketing, this is going to be a kind of a steep learning curve to learn. So, we create this in 10 to 15 minutes. They have all this information, and we also add everything that they need to use it. So, of those 15 assets, we have things like a back of the book summary, a synopsis, genres. We have detailed target audience, which breaks down their target audience into segments, as well as telling them where they can find them on social media, which social media channels, which communities to find them, and so on. We have 10 comparative titles. We have KDP categories. We have a press release. We have ad copy, and it just goes on. So yeah, we have these assets in that marketing report, and we also added, with the help of your suggestions over the last 6 months, we added some primers for all of these sections so that we also tell authors, like, for each of these assets, where and how you could use it, with examples, with suggestions to what you can change on it to use it in a different way, for example.
Right.
And we also added a section with other marketing resources that is not manuscript report. So for other purpose marketing, here's what you can use. And we also add now a marketing plan. So it's a four-phase marketing plan. So depending where you are as an author in your marketing journey, you can step in right into one of these phases, from very easy on publishing your book on KDP to trying out social media ads and how we should do that.
Wow. I want to go back to Manuscript Report for a second, and I do want to drill into these other tools that I'm not as familiar with because I haven't played
Okay.
with them as much. I played with some of them. But even in the manuscript report, there's something that I've leveraged. There's a couple things. There's a breakdown of the genre. It gives you a pie chart and it shows you the percentage of different genres, so you can see and you use that in your target audiences, right? Because it could appeal to this people who like this and this, or people who like this and the other thing. But then the other thing that a lot of people use on social media are what they call, I think they call them the trope maps, where you have a picture of the book
Mhm.
and you have the little squiggly arrows and you have the different tropes and themes. And that's really important because, I mean, yes, I wrote the book, but it's like, oh, I didn't even think of this as a theme. I didn't even think that this as a trope. And I find that that can be really a really valuable tool for authors if they're not sure what to share. Because you can go to BookBrush, for example, and get the template and stick your book cover in and change the text. I mean, I was like, whoa, that blew my mind because you see a lot of that on some of the socials for books.
Yeah, so this is actually one of the feedback that we get most commonly. Authors saying that they discover new things about the books that they, spent months or years writing. So just like you said in the beginning, they discovered a different genre that they weren't aware that they were writing in. They discovered new themes, new tropes. And also, just because the AI is an objective tool, you also get like new angles from which you can market it. You get new target audience that you didn't know you can appeal to. And you've been doing this for months and years, and you're kind of stuck in some of the ideas you had maybe in the beginning months ago, and you don't realize it.
Yeah.
So this is one of the most common feedback that we get: people discovering, writers discovering more things about the book that they wrote.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, even I've played with it, and I've some of my patrons, I've run reports for them to help them out, as well as some friends, some publishers I've connected you with, saying, and I
Yeah.
even ran one on one of my traditionally published books that came out 13 years ago, and I just wanted to get some marketing stuff because it's coming back. It's been picked for a community reads, and I was like, hey, I should run this and coordinate that with the publicist over at the publisher to say, are you guys able to use this? Because I don't know, I just find it valuable. But you have additional assets, right? So some social media, very social media specific stuff as well.
Yes. So we did end up seeing that authors need more than this report. This is great for the initial marketing phase, but then some authors want to do more. So we have other types of reports to cover those a bit more complex phases of marketing. So a second most popular report that we have is the social media content/ads report. What we do there is, again, we use some of the information that we create for the initial marketing report, such as blurbs, ad copy, target audience, genres, and so on. And then based on this, we have 10 marketing angles that we know they work for books. And from these 10 marketing angles, we create social media posts with hashtags and with everything you need. They are SEO optimized. And we also create images for those posts. And those images usually are created based on the most engaging scenes of your book, and we also try to make them in such ways that they can stop someone from scrolling. So we use all these kind of social media best practices when we create those images, things like popping colors, or putting together objects that may not be put together in a regular way, so that we capture the attention of people seeing them on social media.
Wow. I guess I should get into, because people are probably wondering, okay, what does it cost to use Manuscript Report? What does it cost to use the social media? But before we get into that, what are some of the other tools?
Yeah.
You said those are the
Okay.
first two most popular ones, right?
Yeah, yeah, and then we also have a blog series report. So basically, again, we process the book, and then we repurpose it in a series of 6 to 10 long form articles that you can publish on Substack or your newsletter, or you can even create other social media posts from that. We usually try to mimic the voice of the author from the book into these long form articles, but we try to also make it a bit more engaging so that it entices readers to go through the whole book. And then our fourth report is a book Bible. This is very useful for fiction authors, especially to be able to. This is a very comprehensive report where they can track everything that's going on in the book. So their characters, all the physical descriptions of those characters, all the relationships between the characters, the timelines, the plots. Uh, yeah, this is a very good tool to use when you're writing a series. So you can go back and see exactly how you started a few books ago, or if you want to retrieve information quickly from your book. And we've seen some authors use it to validate that, maybe they didn't forget some sort of weird physical descriptions that they
Right.
put in months ago. So yeah, and regarding the prices, uh, every single report it costs between $25 to $60. The social media report is the one that is costing $60 because for that we still have to manually go through everything that we create because let's say that images aren't yet at a state where we can just ship them without having a manual
Right. Some
having
human
someone
intervention.
manually,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
exactly, human intervention, or
Right.
you're gonna get 20 images in the report. On the back end, we might generate 40 images to select the best one from
So you're
those.
picking the best. And so
Yes,
just to confirm, you're speaking US dollars, right? Like neither one of us is in the
yes,
US, but you're speaking US dollars. Okay, cool.
yes. I'm
Just
sorry. Yes,
just for the audience. Okay. And then I guess the question I had is because I mean I'm a huge fan and advocate for Manuscript Report and I love it. I'm eventually going to run all my books through there. And what I'm looking at is okay, so I have the manuscript report and now I want to do the next phase. Is that if I've already run something like manuscript report, is there a way to go, oh, can I now have this report too? Or is that like sort of a separate entry for same manuscript, but you got to load it separately? Because you're not actually storing anything locally, right?
yeah. So just to make sure I got your question right. So first of all, yes, we use AI to create all of this. But we use it in a way that, first of all, we never train. No AI is ever trained on the books that we process,
Yeah,
and we delete everything within 30 days from processing. So,
right.
first of all, the authors are still gonna own their book. They're also gonna own all the outputs that they get from us. And within 30 days, every trace of our processing of their manuscript is deleted from the internet, from our servers, from any
Right.
third-party tool that we use. So that's one thing. Secondly, if you do go to their website and you get one report, of course, you can go back later and get the second or the third report in whatever order you wish or want or combination you wish to
Okay,
get
so
them in.
where's the main website then? Because I think I might have been using like manuscriptreport.com
Yeah,
and
that's the main website,
yeah.
manuscriptreport.com. You go to the get report section,
Yeah.
and then you'll end up seeing all our four reports. The main one is the marketing report that we first discussed.
Ah,
And then you can check, okay, I also want the blog series, I also want the social media
right.
report, and I also want the book Bible.
So
Or
you
you
can do
can
them all at
deselect.
once. But if I load today, let's say today I run just the manuscript report because I want to get the basic thing, and then tomorrow I want the other one. Do I log back in? I'm just, how does the
Yeah,
logistics work?
you just go back to manuscript report, get report, deselect the marketing report that you got yesterday and select whatever you want to get today, and it's gonna
Okay.
work the same way, in the same way. Yeah.
Is there I know I have an affiliate code that can save people $5 off of the cost. Is there a bulk discount if an author orders like a bunch of reports at once? Or like let's say I want the manuscript report and I want the Bible. But speaking of Bible, like I'm always curious as someone who's written a series, like do I load them all and I get a Bible that includes all of them, or how does that work? Is it just Bible per book?
No, I mean all the reports are sort of optimized to work per one book. If
Okay.
you give them, I mean, we had people doing a whole series, sending us a whole series, and we sort of approached the limit of 1 million words in a
Okay.
PDF that we processed. I mean, up to that point, it really depends exactly. I mean, you should know exactly what you want to do with the report. Because if you want to, for example, advertise your whole series at once, maybe that will work, just doing everything through
Yeah.
Manuscript Report. But we don't really optimize for this, and we optimize to do per book analysis. So if you
Right.
want a book Bible, it would be much better to just submit. I mean, if you want a book Bible or any report, it's much better to just submit one book at a time.
Right. Okay. All right.
And
Wow.
then to answer your previous question, yes, we can also do discounts if authors are looking to get multiple reports on multiple books, or they have recurrent needs. Some we also work with like I said, with publishers and author services teams that have recurring needs. So we can talk about discounts in those cases. Yes.
Yeah, no, I love that. And people just reach out to you to find out more about that then.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, they should. I mean, I respond, I look, I read all the emails that we get from the contact form on our website. And yes, I'm very excited to talk to authors.
Awesome. Well, silly question. I never asked this before. My affiliate code works for Manuscript Report, but does it work for the other reports as well?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
yes,
So someone could save
yes,
$5 on the other report then as well.
yes,
I
yeah.
didn't know that, and I never asked because again, I've never
Okay.
really played with them much. I just did some. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to use this one as much. I'll just go back to the basic report. So that's cool.
I mean, we did change our platform quite a bit since we started working together. So it's also
Yeah.
my fault maybe that I didn't communicate that with you.
Well,
So yeah,
I'm also a scatterbrain and I'm all over the place. So you might have mentioned things and I didn't catch them along the way, but that is fantastic. And it seems like you're constantly iterating and adding things because I don't remember the Story Bible. That might be a more recent addition. Is that true?
yes, in the latest edition that we put in there, we actually uh, we partnered with the Facebook community of authors, and it seems like there were multiple questions on if we could do this or not, or if the marketing report board
Yeah.
would help the could help authors with this.
Yeah.
So, we thought about it, and it does work, and we did it. And the Book Bible is the cheapest report that we offer at $25.
Oh, wow. Cool. Cool. That's really amazing. So, I guess, well, I was going to say, and you probably have plans to continue to grow and expand, and that's probably based on user feedback, right?
Yes, definitely. I mean, whenever we get new authors trying out the service, I always reach out to them a day or two after they submit their report, and I ask for any thoughts, feedback, or suggestions that they might have. So, we're very happy to look at all the feedback that comes in, and we're actually, I mean, we're iterating on all the feedback that we get. So we're actually trying to improve the product through feedback.
Well, I know, and it's funny because when I even look at the improvements you've made since I first started using Manuscript Report to the one I got just this morning as well, it's kind of like, okay, this is cool. This is growing. I mean, there's more and more details and more robust information. I mean, one of the functionalities I love, absolutely adore, and I think it's so important for authors because we can never don't often see this is the comparable titles and authors. And it's so funny. Like I look at titles and go, "Oh my God, I love that. I love that guy, that girl, that book that they wrote." I didn't realize that there was some similarities between my book and their amazing book as well. So that kind of blew my mind. It was like, never would have thought of this. So it helps you find those comparable titles. And what I love about it is it talks about the similarities between your book and this book, but also the differences, like what makes it similar, like what themes or tropes or whatever elements in it are similar, but what makes it different and unique is also, it's kind of like you go back to the old, it's Die Hard on a bus, right? Like it's like Die Hard, but it's on
Yeah.
a bus, like that kind of stuff, right? So it really
It,
helps
it,
dumb it down, which I mean, in a lot of cases, the problem we have as authors is so many things going on, so many characters and complications. You kind of have to dumb it down when you go to the elevator pitch. Right. Not that the audience is dumb, but just it's easier to comprehend Die Hard on a bus than it is to get into the specifics, right?
yeah, exactly. So besides, that's why also through iteration we added a sort of a second comparative titles section. So the one that you were saying, we're providing 10 titles, there's similarity and the differences with those titles. But then we added a second section where we try to place your book at the intersection of bestsellers or very good movies. So
Yeah.
this is working very well. I found with ads, for example. So
Yeah.
if you have your book placed at the intersection of two bestsellers or two very good movies, you can sort of reach out to that audience of those movies and
Yep.
say, if you liked this, you're definitely gonna love this. Except, it's like you
Yeah.
said,
Well,
is
like I
this on the
said,
bus?
from one of your reports from my novel, A Canadian Werewolf in New York, one of the log lines that I've been using that I got from that part of the report was the Dresden Files meets The Hangover. I was like, whoa, never would have thought of that. I have had readers compare, the wit and the sardonic nature of my main character to Dresden, Harry Dresden from Jim Butcher's series, which is like a great honor to be compared to Jim Butcher in any way. But then to compare it to The Hangover, which again really fits the way the novel opens, and he wakes up and has no memory of the night before except he wasn't drunk, he was a wolf. So like I just look at it and went, oh my God, this is genius, I never would have thought of this. So, and that's been a great log line, because when I'm at in-person events as well, is like, well, it's kind of like the Dresden Files meets The Hangover, and when they recognize that, they're like, yep, this is my cup of tea. So that's a really powerful marketing tool.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and we also we ran some case studies with this. One author, she ran, I think, 10 to 15 of her books through Manuscript Report, and she used to be a copywriter, and that was an interesting comparison because she was doing Facebook ads, and she did A/B testing with her old ads and using the copy from Manuscript Report, and we got some interesting results. I mean, this is getting more technical, but her cost per click went to 50%. So she was paying half of what she used to pay for ads.
Wow.
And at the same time, she got a boost in sales by 60%. So overall, it's a 3.2 times increase in her money spent in
Wow.
the how efficient she spends her money. So yeah, I mean, obviously it depends a lot case by case. So, but this is one case study where we could actually compare. Yeah, so
Wow, that's
it
amazing.
works. Yeah.
Now, before we began recording the interview, we talked about you potentially doing a bit of a share or a demo to show us
Okay.
a little bit of
Yeah.
that. And again, this will be for those who are looking at this on YouTube as well. So if you're audio listening to this, Florin's going to try to describe what's going on, but we will have the link to where you can find the video, or I'll even include screenshots at
Okay.
starkreflections.ca. So
Oh, I'm sharing my screen now. Okay, can
yeah,
you see it?
yeah.
Work? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So this is what a marketing report would
I've
look
heard of
like.
this Oscar Wilde fellow.
Yeah. Yeah. He wrote a few. So, uh, yeah, this is a report on the picture of Dorian Gray. Just going through the content so you can see
Yeah.
everything that's going to be in the report. We get a summary, a synopsis, genres, themes, book tropes, KDP categories, target audience, sales pitches by audience, keywords, the comparison titles, another comparison section with the narrative crossroads we just talked about, a sales copy, a press release, a section with other marketing resources, and a marketing plan for your book.
Yeah.
So, as an example, this report is 38 pages long, and you
Wow.
don't have to go through all of it. You can just click in the table of contents to whatever section you're interested in. This may
Hmm.
be a lot for you to digest the first time.
Hmm.
So what we're suggesting is, this is like your Swiss Army knife for marketing. You can use this section individually. You can drop a sales page into a newsletter, or you can put more of these sections together. But yeah, so for example, if I go to the summary, the back of the book summary section, you'll have your 3 paragraphs summary, and then you also get a primer at the beginning of this section with a few instructions on how or where you could actually use this section, and with some suggestions. Like for example, if you add a call to action at the end, you can use this in a I don't know, press release or somewhere else. And yeah, it just goes on for every single section. We have a primer. This is the genre pie chart you were mentioning earlier. The theme section, we usually aim at providing 3 to 5 themes, book tropes, the KDP categories, and then as an example, what we usually suggest in the primer here is that, every quarter you try to switch one of the categories with another so you can see if there's a better fit there or not. The target audience, again, with what I said, with all the details, with demographics, lifestyle, why they're reading, where you can find them, Instagram aesthetics account, for example. Yeah, and so on. Sales pitches, these are great as blurbs, sales pitches for each segment audience. Keywords, you get a lot of keywords in here that you can use. The comp titles, where you get the book title, the similarity and the differences, and you get 10 of these. And then the narrative crossroads, I was saying that, Foss meets the secret history, for
Yeah.
example. And yeah, the sales copy, the press release, and then the marketing resources, where you give you other marketing tools that you can use, and
Yeah.
then the marketing roadmap with the 4 phases.
Oh, wow, the marketing roadmap. Oh, is
Yes.
that included because the person selected the marketing roadmap as well, or is that something I didn't
No,
even
this
notice?
is this is included in all the marketing reports.
Ah. Oh, I see. Just the things to do. Here are the things.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So it's kind of like, oh, here's a. It's more like a bit of a guideline to help authors who don't know where to start.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Wow, amazing. Love that.
And then do I have time to also go quickly through the
Yeah.
social media report?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's take a look at. Let's see, because I haven't seen. I haven't played with it in a while, so I'm sure it's improved
Yeah.
significantly.
Okay. So yes. So, similar layout, but then
Yeah.
instead of general marketing assets, you get specific social media posts. And you get, like I said before, you get the post from 10 marketing angles. You'll see the marketing angle here. So, in this case, it's a POV from the character's perspective.
Right.
You get a post, you get hashtags, and then you
Oh, and
you get an
that's a
image.
great image for the picture of Dorian Gray. Yeah.
And again, it's another angle, emotional hook, another post, another image, and it goes on. We usually offer 20 of these in a report.
Okay. And I think initially it used to come in a spreadsheet, right? But now it's a PDF, right?
Yes, it used to come in a spreadsheet, but we improved a lot since then. I mean, the reason why it was in a spreadsheet is because the image generation wasn't quite there yet, so we would offer people more images than
Yeah.
they could. So, we would say something like, okay, you get 30 images here. Not all of them are going to be a great fit, but
Yeah.
have a look and swift through them and decide which one you like better. And
Oh,
this
the
is a
one
much
line
more,
premise. Oh, I love this.
yeah. And you're having it in a PDF is much more easier and
Yeah.
friendly to look at and read through.
Right. Well, I'm gonna have to play with that again now.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Oh, that's great. Actually, I love that new format. That is fantastic.
Yes. And we try not to repeat the images. So if we do some darker images with the character looking into a mirror, we try not to create
Yeah.
five that are in the same way. So this actually took a lot of the work to try to create diversity, so authors can choose exactly what is best for their voice.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. I
Okay.
love
I'll
that.
I'll stop sharing that.
No, no, thank you for sharing that. I'm so glad that you showed it to me and people can actually see what a report looks like, for a well-known book. So people kind of like even if they haven't read it, they know a little bit about it, so it gives
Yeah.
them a context as well, right? So that is
Yeah.
fantastic. Cool. Well, thank you for sharing this. Now, can you just remind listeners where they can find your great suite of tools
Yeah.
and
just
yeah,
just just go to manuscriptreports.com, everything in one word, and you'll find everything you need there. We have worked with more than 1,000 authors so far. We're currently working with smaller publishers and other services teams as well. We have a lot of testimonials on the website. We also have the case studies that we've done. And I think we have quite a bit of information about all of these reports in there as well. And if you're not finding the responses to whatever questions you might have, just please go to the contact form and I'll definitely reply to you as quick as possible.
Awesome. And of course, a reminder that if you use affiliate code MARK5, MARK, then number five, you can get $5 off the reports. Florin, thank you so much for spending the time with me today.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation, Mark. It was really great catching up.